3 people get arrested and are taken into holding for questioning. The officer talks to the first girl asking, "What's your name?" She says, "Yo." The officer asks, "What are you in for?" She responds with blowing bubbles. The officer takes her picture and lets her go. He asks the second girl, "What's your name?" She responds with, "Yo-yo." The officer asks, "What are you in for?" She responds with blowing bubbles. The officer takes her picture and lets her go. He talks to the guy and says, "Let me guess, your name is Yo-Yo-Yo." The guy replies with, "No, it's Bubbles." A wealthy man was having an affair with an Italian woman for a few years. One night, during one of their rendezvous, she confided in him that she was pregnant. Not wanting to ruin his reputation or his marriage, he paid her a large sum of money if she would go to Italy to have the child. If she stayed in Italy, he would also provide child support until the child turned 18. She agreed, but wondered how he would know when the baby was born. To keep it discreet, he told her to mail him a postcard and write spaghetti on the back. He would then arrange for child support. One day, about 9 months later, he came home to his confused wife. "Honey," she said, "you received a very strange postcard today." "Oh, just give it to me and I'll explain it later," he said. The wife handed the card over and watched as her husband read the card, turned white, and fainted. On the card was written spaghetti, 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 2 with meatballs, 1 without. One weekend, a husband is in the bathroom shaving when the local kid, Bubba, he hired to mow his lawn, comes in to pee. The husband slyly looks over and is shocked at how immensely endowed Bubba is. He can't help himself and asks Bubba what his secret is. "Well," says Bubba, "every night before I climb into bed with a girl, I whack my penis on the bedpost 3 times. It works, and it sure impresses the girls." The husband was excited at this easy suggestion and decided to try it that very night. So before climbing into bed with his wife, he took out his penis and whacked it 3 times on the bedpost. His wife, half asleep, said, "Bubba, is that you?" They say that during sex you burn off as many calories as running 8 miles. Who the hell runs 8 miles in 30 seconds? A man in a hotel lobby turns to go to the front desk, but he accidentally runs into a woman beside him and his elbow bumps into her breast. They are both quite startled. The man turns to her and says, "Ma'am, if your heart is soft as your breast, I know you'll forgive me." She replies, "If your penis is as hard as your elbow, I'm in room 436. A nun and a priest were crossing the Sahara Desert on a camel. On the 3rd day out, the camel suddenly dropped dead without warning. After dusting themselves off, the nun and the priest surveyed their situation. After a long period of silence, the priest spoke. "Well, sister, this looks pretty grim." "I know, Father. In fact, I don't think it likely that we can survive more than a day or 2. "I agree. Sister, since we are unlikely to make it out of here alive, would you do something for me?" "Anything, Father. I have never seen a woman's breasts, and I was wondering if I might see yours." "Well, under the circumstances, I don't see that it would do any harm." The nun opened her habit, and the priest enjoyed the sight of her shapely breasts, commenting frequently on their beauty. "Sister, would you mind if I touched them?" She consented, and he fondled them for several minutes. "Father, could I ask something of you?" "Yes, sister. I have never seen a man's penis." "Could I see yours? I suppose that would be okay," the priest replied, lifting his robe. "Oh, Father, may I touch it?" This time the priest consented, and after a few minutes of fondling, he was sporting a huge erection. "Sister, you know that if I insert my penis in the right place, it can give life. Is that true, Father?" "Yes, it is, sister." "Then why don't you stick it up that camel's ass and let's get the hell out of here." "Give it to me! Give it to me!" she yelled. "I'm so wet. Give it to me now." She could scream all she wanted to. "I was keeping the umbrella." Grandma and Grandpa were visiting their kids overnight. When Grandpa found a bottle of Viagra in his son's medicine cabinet, he asked about using one of the pills. The son said, "I don't think you should take one, Dad. They're very strong and very expensive." "How much?" asked Grandpa. $10 a pill, answered the son. "I don't care," said Grandpa. "I'd still like to try one, and before we leave in the morning, I'll put the money under the pillow." Later the next morning, the son found $110 under the pillow. He called Grandpa and said, "I told you each pill was $10, not $110. "I know," said Grandpa. "The 100 is from Grandma." A boy walks in on his mom and dad having sex. He asks, "What are you doing?" The dad replies, "Making you a brother or sister." The boy says, "Well, do her doggy style, I want a puppy." Q. What kind of bees make milk instead of honey? Booby. 3 words to ruin a man's ego. Is it in? Q. Why does it take 1 million sperm to fertilize 1 egg? A. Because like all men, they won't stop to ask directions. An old man goes to a church and is making a confession. "Man, Father, I am 75 years old. I have been married for 50 years. All these years I had been faithful to my wife, but yesterday I was intimate with an 18-year-old. Father, when was the last time you made a confession?" "Man, I never have. I am Jewish, Father." "Then why are telling me all this?" "Man, I'm telling everybody." Q. What does the receptionist at the sperm clinic say when clients are leaving? Thanks for coming. Dylan was practicing his golf swing in his front yard when he swung a little too hard and sent the ball through his neighbor's window. Dylan ran over and rang the doorbell 3 times. After no one answered for a few minutes, he opened the door to see broken glass everywhere, a lamp lying on the ground, and a huge, fat Arabian man wearing a turban sitting on the couch. Dylan asked, "Who are you?" The fat man replied, "I am a genie you have freed from that lamp." Dylan questioned, "Oh man, do I get 3 wishes?" The genie replied, "Since you freed me by accident, you only get 2 and I get 1. Dylan thought about it and realized what he wanted. "I want to be the best golfer ever." The surprised genie said, "You sure? Most people wish for money, but okay, now your wife gets 1 wish." Dylan brought over his wife, who wished right away, "I want $1 million every week of my life." The genie said, "Granted. And now for my wish. I have been cramped up in that lamp for many years, so it's been a while since I've been with a woman. I want 1 day of wild, crazy sex with your wife." Dylan said. "No way," the genie replied. "Not even for $1 million a week." Dylan turned to his wife, who said, "I guess for all that, I should." "Well, not until Dylan leaves." Dylan said, "Okay, have fun, I guess," and left. Dylan's wife then proceeded to have wild sex for the rest of the day with the genie. When they were finished, the genie asked how old her husband was. She said, 45. The genie laughed and said, "Isn't he a little old to be believing in genies?"